Hemopoiesis, that is, formation of blood cells. In embryonic and fetal mammalian life, hemopoiesis occurs as early as 2 weeks post-conception in yolk sac mesoderm. Mesodermal cells differentiate to primitive erythroblasts, then nucleated erythroblasts, which in turn give rise to nucleated erythrocytes, but there is no leucocytes. Later on, hemopoiesis occurs in liver, spleen, and bone marrow, with the start of development of leucocytes. At birth, the liver and the spleen cease to participate in hemopoiesis, except in certain rodents and some pathological conditions. In adults, however, blood elements are formed in the hemopoietic tissues, which include the myeloid tissue, bone marrow, and lymphatic tissue, spleen, lymph nodes, and thymus. Stem cells. General characteristics. These are the cells that can maintain themselves through self-replication or division and can differentiate to the different mature cell types. Classifications. In the bone marrow, there is the pluripotential stem cell, which is also called totipotential hemopoietic stem cell, giving rise to all types of blood cells. This totipotential hemopoietic stem cell gives rise to two more restricted pluripotential stem cell population, which are the colony-forming unit spleen and the colony-forming unit lymphocyte. Colony-forming unit spleen cells are restricted stem cells and are the precursors of more restricted stem cells for erythrocytes, granulocytes, monocytes, and megakaryocytes. On the other hand, colony-forming unit lymphocytes are also restricted cells, and they are the precursors of more restricted stem cells for lymphocytes T and P. Restricted stem cells, therefore, have restricted capacity for development of one specific cell line, like restricted stem cells for erythrocytes, restricted stem cells for granulocytes, or restricted stem cells for megakaryocytes. Erythropoiesis is the process of red cell production, during which the primitive cell undergoes progressive changes involving both cytoplasm and nucleus. Steps. Stem cell becomes smaller. The cytoplasm changes from intense basophilic into increasingly acidophilic. Acid accumulates hemoglobin. There is gradual decrease and finally loss of cell organelles and nucleus, which shrinks, becomes more heterochromatic and condensed until ultimately it is lost from the cell by extrusion. Erythropoietin hormone produced in the kidney in response to hypoxia stimulates erythropoiesis in bone marrow. Stages. Stem cells. Toti or pluripotential hemopoietic stem cells are primitive embryonic cells, also called hemocytoblasts. They are large, branched cells with basophilic cytoplasm and large pale nuclei having prominent nucleoli. They can give rise to all different types of blood cells and through division differentiate to form restricted stem cells. Colony-forming unit spleen. These are restricted stem cells for erythrocytes, granulocytes, monocytes, and megakaryocytes. They are large, rounded cells with basophilic cytoplasm and large pale nuclei having prominent nucleoli. They divide and differentiate to form more restricted stem cells. Restricted erythrocyte progenitor or colony-forming unit erythropoietin-sensitive cells. These are further restricted stem cells only to form erythrocytes, and they are under the control of erythropoietin hormone produced by the kidney. These cells are also rounded cells with slightly basophilic cytoplasm and a large pale rounded nucleus. Pro-erythroblast is the earliest recognizable precursor of red cell. It is relatively large, about 15 micron in diameter, with a large pale nucleus containing two prominent nucleoli and basophilic cytoplasm. Basophilic erythroblast is smaller than pro-erythroblast, about 13 micron in diameter, and contains small dark nucleus with no nucleoli and darkly basophilic cytoplasm rich in ribonucleic acid. Polychromatophilic erythroblast is much smaller, about 11 micron in diameter, with a small dark nucleus having no nucleoli. The cytoplasm accepts different colors due to the appearance of hemoglobin, which is acidophilic, and decrease of ribosomes concentration, which are basophilic, hence the name of polychromatophilic, accepting different colors. Normoblast or acidophilic erythroblast is a small cell about 9 micron in diameter. It is acidophilic due to its content of hemoglobin. The nucleus is dark, bikinotic, and eccentric. Later on, the nucleus is extruded out of the cell by active expulsion through activity of some contractile protein. Finally, the expelled nuclei are destroyed by macrophages. Reticulocytes are newly formed RBCs or immature RBCs that contain a basophilic reticulum of polysomes, ribonucleic acids. They have a grayish tint color, not the usual pink color after ordinary blood stain, so sometimes are called polychromatophilic erythrocytes. Reticulocytes percentage normally ranges from 0.5 to 1% of the circulating RBCs. An increase in their number is met with during activity of the bone marrow, as in bleeding. Reticulocytes can be stained supravitally by brilliant chrysite blue. Erythrocytes are rounded biconcave non-nucleated discs about 7 micron in diameter. Leucopoiesis is the formation of white blood cells. There are two types. Granulopoiesis is the formation of granulocytes. It takes place in active bone marrow. Stages: stem cells. Toti or pluripotential hemopoietic stem cells are primitive embryonic cells, also called hemocytoblasts. They are large branched cells with basophilic cytoplasm and large pale nuclei having prominent nucleoli. They can give rise to all different types of blood cells and through division differentiate to form restricted stem cells. Colony-forming unit spleen. These are restricted stem cells for erythrocytes, granulocytes, monocytes, and megakaryocytes. They are large, rounded cells with basophilic cytoplasm and large pale nuclei having prominent nucleoli. They divide and differentiate to form more restricted stem cells. Restricted granulocyte progenitor or colony-forming unit granulocytes. These are further restricted stem cells only to form granulocytes. They are rounded with lightly basophilic cytoplasm and a large pale rounded nucleus. Myeloblast is the earliest recognizable precursor of granulocyte. It is a large, rounded, basophilic cell having non-granular cytoplasm, containing many organelles like Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, and many free ribosomes. Myeloblast has a large, pale, rounded nucleus containing 2 or more prominent nucleoli. Promyelocytes are larger than myeloblasts, having pale large nuclei with prominent nucleoli. Their cytoplasm is basophilic, containing non-specific granules, azurophilic granules, and many organelles, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, and free ribosomes. Myelocytes are smaller in diameter with oval eccentric nuclei. Their cytoplasm contains few specific granules, so they can be differentiated into neutrophilic, eosinophilic, and basophilic myelocytes. Metamyelocytes are also small in diameter, but with dark and kidney-shaped nucleus, and their cytoplasm shows numerous specific granules. They change to step or band cells. Step or band cells are similar to mature granulocytes, but having a horseshoe-shaped nucleus. Band cells are frequently found in circulating blood and increase in cases of infections. Granulocytes are mature granular cells and are differentiated into neutrophils with segmented or lobulated nucleus, eosinophils with horseshoe or bilobed nucleus, and basophils with irregular-shaped or S-shaped nucleus. The other type of leucopoiesis is a granulopoiesis, which is the formation of agranulocytes, development of B lymphocytes. It occurs in red bone marrow. Once they are formed, they leave the bone marrow to the bloodstream, where they are filtered in the lymphatic organs, lymph node, spleen, tonsils, and in the interstitial lymphatic nodules. Stages: stem cells. Toti or pluripotential hemopoietic stem cells are primitive embryonic cells, also called hemocytoblasts. They are large branched cells with basophilic cytoplasm and large pale nuclei having prominent nucleoli. They can give rise to all different types of blood cells and through division differentiate to form restricted stem cells. Colony-forming unit lymphocyte. These are restricted stem cells for T and B lymphocytes. They are round cells with basophilic cytoplasm and large pale nuclei having prominent nucleoli. They divide and differentiate to form more restricted stem cells. Restricted B lymphocyte progenitor or colony-forming unit B lymphocyte. These are further restricted stem cells only to form B lymphocytes. They are rounded with lightly basophilic cytoplasm and a large rounded nucleus. B lymphoblasts are small transient cells having a diameter that ranges from 8 to 10 micron. B lymphocytes are small cells with large darkly stained nucleus and scanty basophilic non-granular cytoplasm. Development of T lymphocytes. It occurs in red bone marrow. They then leave the bone marrow to reach the thymus gland for proper differentiation, and at last they reach the lymphatic tissues. Stages: stem cells. Toti or pluripotential hemopoietic stem cells are primitive embryonic cells, also called hemocytoblasts. They are large branched cells with basophilic cytoplasm and large pale nuclei having prominent nucleoli. They can give rise to all different types of blood cells, and through division differentiate to form restricted stem cells. Colony-forming unit lymphocyte. These are restricted stem cells for T and B lymphocytes. They are round cells with basophilic cytoplasm and large pale nuclei having prominent nucleoli. They divide and differentiate to form more restricted stem cells. Restricted T lymphocyte progenitor are colony-forming unit T lymphocytes. These are further restricted stem cells only to form T lymphocytes. They are rounded with lightly basophilic cytoplasm and a large rounded nucleus. In infants and in newly born, these cells migrate to the cortex of the thymus, where they are affected by the thymic hormones and differentiate into T lymphoblasts. T lymphoblasts are small, transient, rounded cells that differentiate in the thymus into T lymphocytes. T lymphocytes are small cells with large dark stained nucleus and scanty basophilic non-granular cytoplasm, indistinguishable morphologically by ordinary stain from B lymphocytes. Development of monocytes. It occurs in the red bone marrow. Once they migrate to the tissues, they are called macrophages. Stages: stem cells. Toti or pluripotential hemopoietic stem cells are primitive embryonic cells, also called hemocytoblasts. They are large branched cells with basophilic cytoplasm and large pale nuclei having prominent nucleoli. They can give rise to all different types of blood cells, and through division differentiate to form restricted stem cells. Colony-forming unit spleen. These are restricted stem cells for erythrocytes, granulocytes, monocytes, and megakaryocytes. They are large, rounded cells with basophilic cytoplasm and large pale nuclei having prominent nucleoli. They divide and differentiate to form more restricted stem cells. Restricted monocyte progenitor are colony-forming unit monocytes. These are further restricted stem cells only to form monocytes. They are rounded with lightly basophilic cytoplasm and large rounded nuclei. Monoplasts are large cells with large nuclei and basophilic cytoplasm. They can differentiate into monocytes. Monocytes are large cells having large eccentric kidney-shaped nuclei and scanty basophilic non-granular cytoplasm. Development of blood platelets. It occurs in red bone marrow from detached pseudopodia of megakaryocytes. Stages: stem cells. Toti or pluripotential hemopoietic stem cells are primitive embryonic cells, also called hemocytoblasts. They are large branched cells with basophilic cytoplasm and large pale nuclei having prominent nucleoli. They can give rise to all different types of blood cells, and through division differentiate to form restricted stem cells. Colony-forming unit spleen. These are restricted stem cells for erythrocytes, granulocytes, monocytes, and megakaryocytes. They are large, rounded cells with basophilic cytoplasm and large pale nuclei having prominent nucleoli. They divide and differentiate to form more restricted stem cells. Restricted megakaryocyte progenitor are colony-forming unit megakaryocytes. These are further restricted stem cells only to form megakaryocytes. They are rounded with lightly basophilic cytoplasm and large rounded nuclei. Megakaryoplasts are large cells with rounded indented nuclei and basophilic cytoplasm, showing by electron microscope numerous polysomes, some smooth endoplasmic reticulum, well-developed Golgi apparatus, and mitochondria. Promegakaryocytes are large cells with kidney-shaped nuclei and basophilic cytoplasm containing fine azurophilic granules. Megakaryocyte. Mega, large, karyo, nucleus, cyte cell. It is a large cell about 40 micron in diameter with a large multi-lobed nucleus and basophilic granular cytoplasm containing fine azurophilic granules. Megakaryocyte sends pseudopodia to the walls of blood sinusoids, which detach to form blood platelets. Platelets are detached pseudopodia from megakaryocyte containing remnants of membranous and non-membranous organelles. Granulomer of blood platelets contains remnants of membranous organelles like mitochondria, ribosomes, and lysosomes. Also, it contains some inclusions like glycogen granules and serotonin-containing granules. On the other hand, hyalumer of blood platelets contains remnants of non-membranous organelles like microtubules and microfilaments, which help to maintain the disc shape of blood platelets.